Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Long, the judge, John Payton, as always, in riding shotgun, and we've got Plano Independent School District sports coming up here. Now, Judge, great week for Plano for the most part. All their schools really did well. Among other things, we are going to, throughout the year, visit with opponents of theirs in District 8-5A, and I guess we got a little bit of that going tonight.
Well, Plano Senior High has a huge game coming up in 2 weeks. Not that every game is not huge, as J. Don McCullough has said that, you've got to prepare every week the same way. Mike Hughes has said that, and Johnny Ringo have all said that. But there's no way to hide this in the closet. Allen High School is ranked number one in the state of Texas right now.
Number one in the country by a few people.
Yeah, that's right. And so, I thought it would be good for us to know, what's going on the other side.
Okay.
What's the coach of the opposing team thinking?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. There is no question that this game coming up here in just a very short while of time, coming up in a week and a half, is going to be a little bit like high school football's version of John Wayne going up against Gary Cooper, or Russell Crowe going up against Val Kilmer, to update the analogy. But anyhow, why don't we right now get a few thoughts from Allen coach Tim Westerberg on the Plano Wildcats, the big game with them coming up.
Morning to prepare for our Wednesday show, and we've been very fortunate to have Coach Westerberg from Allen High School join us this morning as we travel around District 8-5A to bring all of you the different views and the different ideas that are going around this very competitive district in football. Coach Westerberg, first of all, thanks for joining us this morning and being a part of PlanoISDSports.net and Coach Brentz's brainchild.
All right.
We appreciate that. Coach, we're going to start right off the bat and jump in that hot seat. You're ranked number one in the state of Texas. What kind of burden does that carry for you as the head coach of a number one state-ranked team, and then also your assistant coaches?
Well, we have to. We talked to the kids at the very beginning of the year about what that means, and really, in high school football, it doesn't mean a whole lot. We don't play in the BCS system where you have to be ranked at the beginning of the year to be playing in the national championship at the end. It has nothing to do with our goals of wanting to get into the playoffs, win the district championship, and then ultimately win a state championship. So we kind of talked to them about that a little bit, that all that really means is that there's a little bit bigger target on our back. But, the state rankings don't mean a whole lot now once we start district play.
Your players, does it give them a little bit of an extra, a little extra boost to know that, hey, you know what, I'm number one ranked number one in the state of Texas? Does it create a little swagger to their walk, which may translate into some confidence on the field?
I don't know if it does that or not, but what we don't talk about it a whole lot. What we talk about is getting better every day, getting better every game, and so far through the non-district race, we've been able to do that.
You've got some very talented players on your football team, some guys that are already at least talking about being committed to one of the schools being the University of Alabama.
Right.
And you've got to be pretty darn good to be committed to the University of Alabama. How much does your talent pool, especially at your skill levels, contribute to the respect that you've gained over the state of Texas?
I think it's contributed a bunch. We've got Alec Morris playing quarterback and playing at a really high level right now, and he's the one that's committed to Alabama, and Jonathan Williams, our running back, has committed to Missouri at this time. We're just hoping to have him playing for a little bit. He's not playing right now, and the guys behind him are stepping in, doing a great job. Marcus Ward and Jeffrey Harris. So, the talent pool's there, and the kids have come up through the program. Andrew Rodriguez, and we have kids that are doing a great job that haven't committed anywhere. Andrew's one of the best receivers in the Metroplex and hasn't had really an offer or a commitment anywhere.
Coach, let's talk about your preseason so far. When you go through to pick your preseason games, what are you thinking and how do you set that up? Because you have to do it ahead of time. It's not something you do during the summer. How do you think, or what are you thinking when you set those games up as you get ready for your district games the following season?
Well, when we do it every 2 years at realignment, and you start kind of making phone calls and trying to find some games, and sometimes we get told no, and sometimes we get told yes, and when we start looking, we played in the Tom Landry Classic the last couple of years. Allen has been in it quite a few years, and that game gets set up for us. So Chris Cumnock with PPI Marketing sets that game up, and it's always a good game. We played Cedar Hill the last 2 years in that one. we got to set up the Northwest game because Susan Elza was assistant AD in Allen, and she went to Northwest as the AD, and we got her to set that game up. And then Longview, we play pretty much every year because at some point in time I can't find a game and he can't find a game, so we end up playing each other. So that's how we've played the last 4 years, and so that's kind of how we set them up, and people are starting to set them up a whole lot earlier these days.
Well, and let's talk about, and I'm going to call it hype, for lack of a better term, of getting that number one state ranking. You've played it down. Hey, you know what? It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Our focus is win a district championship, get in the playoffs, and get in the state final tournament. So let's talk about that for a moment. Does that prevent you from being able to pick up some good, maybe local preseason games versus, like I know you just made that trip to Longview, did you not?
Right.
You know, that's a pretty decent trip to make with a football team, a band, and your fans. So do you, and especially in these budget years right now coming up, that's a little more difficult because of the expense to get down there. Do you feel that the hype of wearing that number one ranking or being a successful program year after year has put you in a position to have to go further away from the area to pick up a preseason game?
I don't think so. I think there's enough good teams around the Metroplex that we'll end up playing each other. Us playing Cedar Hill, and we're going to keep that one going for the next realignment. Joey and I have already talked about that, and then we'll pick up a couple other games. Probably then the next realignment we'll gonna play South Lake in a non-district. So there's some games already set up actually. So we'll try to keep it local so we don't have to travel as much because it was pretty expensive to get to Longview with our band and all that.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, it's been crazy the budget year that Austin's expecting all these ISDs to have to operate under. Let's switch pages for a moment. You know, I've already met and talked with Wednesday night the 3 varsity coaches from the Plano Independent School District: Plano West, Plano East, and Plano Senior High.
Right.
And each time I asked them the same question, which is, let's talk about the elephant in the corner, and that is that Allen High School is a single high school town. And a lot of fans, they believe that by having a single high school town, that it gives Allen an advantage over other schools. When I look online and I check out all the different 5A football websites, I find really that the population numbers aren't much different amongst you. In fact, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Plano East had the largest enrollment.
Right.
Plano was next, then Allen, and then Plano West. What's your opinion on that? Do you feel that being a single high school town gives you an advantage over a powerhouse like Plano? I mean, you don't get any better than what Plano Senior High has been with their number of state championships and consecutive winning seasons. So is that a valid argument?
I'm not sure because I come from the one high school town standpoint. We have a great fan support. We have a great junior high system, and I have control of all of our junior high coaches, and I don't know what the other systems are like exactly. And so we have 3 junior highs that feed into one freshman center that feed into one high school. And when we first got here a long time ago, Todd Graham had just kind of started turning the corner into the winning into the 5A, and then Coach Martin came, and I came with Coach Martin, and we talked about wanting to win state championships and got to the semifinals one year, and then as then Coach Martin left and I took over, we ended up going just a little bit further and got the state championship in 2008. And I think the winning breeds some winning, and whether it's in a one high school town or not, but I do think one high school town has a lot to do with it.
Okay, Coach, you mentioned Coach Martin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew Coach Martin, great guy.
Right.
He went down to Austin.
Right.
For UIL. Do you keep in touch with Coach Martin?
Well, he went to the coaching association.
Oh,
he
okay.
Works. They kind of work in hand with the UIL, but went to the coaching association. We visit quite often. Visit with them last Friday, and probably about once, twice a week. We talk a lot.
Let's jump right into that. I mean, I look at the rankings, and again, I know that, like you do, the rankings mean nothing. It's
right.
what we put on the board every Friday night, or if ESPN or Fios is shooting us every Thursday night. And if you don't put the numbers up, then you walk away. It doesn't matter what that ranking is. But you can't ignore the fact that District 8-5A has 3 of its schools in the top 25 statewide, and in the top, if I'm not mistaken, 15 in the region. And so that means, so let me ask that question. So what does that mean to a coach getting ready for a District 8 5A game?
It means that in coach speak, it means that if you're not ready to play every Friday night, you could get beat. A year ago, we were rolling through the district pretty good and came out not ready to play and got beat by Hebron. Hebron was our, didn't make the playoffs last year and was probably one of the best teams in the state that didn't make the playoffs. And then we ended up winning the district and playing a fourth place team of the next district, 7-5A, and it's not even close. From top to bottom, our district is one of the strongest from across the board.
In keeping in that fashion with District 8 5A, what does that mean to your coaches and your players each week when it comes to setting game plans and work ethic?
Well, what we try to do in Allen is we try to not really get up for one big, huge game. What we try to do is try to keep it on an even keel throughout the whole district race. People ask who our biggest rival is in the district and stuff like that, and we really take it as everybody's a rival. And so we try to stay on an even keel and not try to take one game up so we don't have a crash afterwards.
So you maintain a good even intensity then through your week of practice, and your coaches maintain that with the players. Is that accurate?
We try to, and that's really my job as a head coach to make sure we do that.
Talking about District 8 5A, you guys get ready to start district play in 2 weeks.
Right.
And I was looking down across the board. I noticed that you guys have a bye this week. Is that right?
Yes.
And I think Plano Senior High has a bye and Plano East has a bye.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the only school in our immediate area that borders us that's playing is Plano West against North Mesquite.
Plano West and Hebron both have games this
Okay,
week.
So they both do. And so you've got that 2 weeks to get ready. How do you build from week one so you're not too intense to get ready to get more intense into that second week to get ready for that game on Friday night?
Well, the main thing we do this week is, since we played Longview and got in so late Friday, kids were off on Saturday. Yesterday Monday we treated it kind of like a Saturday workout for us, and so that we watched the video, made some corrections, lifted and conditioned a little bit. And then what we will do is we'll practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And what we do this week is we concentrate on us. We don't talk about Plano. We don't talk about who we're playing. We concentrate on everything that we have done over the last 3 weeks and try to correct that and have three days of just strong fundamental practices. Then we pick up Monday just like it was another week where we start prepping for Plano on Monday next week.
Now, last night I was at a booster club meeting for Plano West, and Coach Hughes was talking about that they exchange, I believe, 3 videos with the opposing team that's coming up.
Yes.
And so is that pretty normal practice in District 8 5A?
It's UIL-wise.
UIL-wise,
Right.
okay. So that's a statewide rule then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Coach, you've got Plano coming up in 2 weeks. Plano's had an outstanding preseason. They seem to be hitting on all pistons. Do you see that as a more difficult game? Let's not say, because like you said, you play everybody the same, but really there does become some kind of special preparation for a team that's playing as well as, let's say, a Plano Wildcat. And so will you increase the intensity a little bit more this next week? Not this week per se, but the next week to gear up for their game plan?
The whole thing that we'll do is what we talk to our kids about is the different seasons throughout football. And it really starts into the spring where some of the kids that you have coming maybe off the freshman teams or the JV teams are now practicing with the varsity, and the speed picks up a little bit. And then we go into our two-a-day workouts, and the intensity picks up. You go to the scrimmage, that intensity picks up a little bit. You go into that first game, first non-district game, we played Cedar Hill, the intensity was up pretty high. And then what we talk to them about is once the district race picks up, then the intensity picks up again. So we're just going to pick it up overall and not really just for one specific team.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to say a big thanks again to Coach Westerberg for sitting down with us this morning. He took time out of his day to spend time with PlanoISDSports.net. Coach Westerberg, thank you so much.
You bet.
We really appreciate the interview. And folks, you can catch this at www.PlanoISDSports.net on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 7:15 with the Kevin and the Judge Show. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you Wednesday night.